Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new ramble. It has been forever since the last one. A lot has changed, so like in my life, positively, but that is kind of the reason why I haven't been really uploading rambles frequently. Also, just like the internet here, I pretty much moved to a new place. I bought a home, huge achievement. 99 construction achieved. You know, the new year started off right. That happened in January, and then with that came like a new internet plan, and I had to save some bucks. Going all into the house, and the internet plan's kind of poop. It's like 7 megabit upload. So I haven't really had the urge ever since that plan has been purchased to record any rambles, but nonetheless, it's been really good real life wise. I'm not one that posts a lot about that stuff or shares that stuff a lot, but in short, got engaged, got married subsequently, and purchased a place. So it's been going very good. And then now it's been like maybe a few months into living in the new place where things have kind of calmed down, stabilized, and started to be able to like save some money at this point and yeah, go forward. So anyways, that's enough of the real life stuff. We're here for the RuneScape content mostly. If you are new here, what I pretty much do is I just make videos on my free to play or main account, and I kind of diarize my progress. Mainly been playing the free to play or documenting the free to play as of late. And yeah, I got this free to play account here that I'm working towards 200 million woodcutting XP goal, and that's pretty much like all I kind of want for the account. But if you have been following me for a while, I've been like making these rambles and whatnot, and I think we're in for a long one today, boys. Like, I got a lot to talk about. I don't have a lot of like cliff. I actually have zero notes planned, but I'm just gonna go off of like the top of my head because like I've noticed sometimes that like when you hit record and you have like a plan in mind, you're gonna way too like hyper focused and you end up making mistakes because you want things to be like you want things to be like just how you had it in the script. So sometimes it's just good to freeball it and like fuck that's like the point of rambling, right? So one thing I did want to say right off the bat is thank you everybody who commented and liked the recent ramble where kind of I addressed my opinion with the free to play community. I want to say that a lot of you guys, but by a lot I mean like 4 or 5 of you guys, reached out to me in private expressing your appreciation with like my opinions. And I'm not looking for any validation here, but I'm very pleased that there are people that feel the same way, and they felt so I guess they were so closeted with their beliefs that they reached out to me in DMs to express their views that like, yeah, bro, I feel the same way. I haven't had that much of a I haven't been able to like fit in, and just the social aspect mainly and whatnot. So thank you everybody who like reached out. That's cool to know. Like again, RuneScape, it's an MMO at the end of the day. It is about the flex, and sometimes it's good to just play it like a solo game. Just work towards your own goals, view things in your own ideals. If you're trying to like do something for like validation in a community, or you're trying to fit in and like in a very like artificial way to yourself, sometimes that kind of tears you inside. And I don't know, with like the free to play community and myself, I mean, I never felt like I fit in. I was coming in as like a high level player, but like not like a very elite player. Like, I consider myself high level. Like, I can do something efficiently, something I cannot, but I wasn't like fundamentalist and idealistic about it. And I just hated like how every conversation went down that road. No one could celebrate like an achievement, unless you did it in a beastly way, or you had or your account was beast. Like, what one guy reached out to me in the DM saying basically how like your account defined your personality. Like, if you were fucking inducted, bro, everyone wanted to suck your dick. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, that's that. Thank you for commenting to the video. Yeah, like I said, very nice to hear people's views. So I'm cutting some willows today. This is the first day I've been cutting willows since forever. I decided I'd change things up, at least for the sake of the ramble. Like, we're getting like 57K an hour right now without the events, so that's kind of all right if you ask me. It's a beautiful day to be alive in Western Canada. I forgot to mention today's date, which I do at the start of every video, June the 8th. There you go, folks. So long time coming. What else did I want to say, pretty much? Well, yeah, I've been playing the free-to-play, and we'll get into the progress picks momentarily, but yeah, as far as like overall EHP gains go, like it's been pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie. I mainly play like I still play like 5+ hours a day, whether that is on the free to play account or multi-logging. Most of my time comes from work time. Like I just play on mobile and I cut use on the free to play. You know, I have a job where I can like full time play mobile. You know, an AFK at work, but you know, I work in an office setting, and you know, I'm pretty shy with like just blatantly playing my phone. So I don't get like the APM, the desired APM levels with AFKUs that I should be getting. You know, like if it's like 42K an hour over there, I'm probably getting like 29 or 28. So yeah, but not a lot of gains have occurred. I've actually like, in a way, somewhat, I wouldn't say burned out. I'm definitely going for 200 mil still, but I've taken a more relaxed approach. I mean, my approach was already relaxed, but let's just say that you know, being muted and like, you know, not fitting in with the community, you know, which is okay, but you know, I don't know. I feel like I don't have a community here that I can lean towards, that I like, you know, kind of just. And that's nothing against anybody. I have to repeat that. I mean, there's some fucking beasts out there. There's nothing against anybody. But yeah, it just kind of demotivates you, you know? Because again, we do play this account to like, you know, share our we do play this game to like share our achievements and, you know, talk to people and, you know, just witness each other's progress along the way. I'm kind of doing this just for like myself at this point. I just want to get like 200 million woodcutting on free to play and just kind of like really leave it at that, you know, like call it a wrap, call it a day. You know, it's a nice flex. It's going to be my first 200 mil ever, and it's going to be in free to play. I honestly never saw that coming. So, yeah, the gains have you know, subsequently died down, and I guess I'll just get into like the progress that we've seen. So let me see. No, that's not it. Okay, here we go. So we're just gonna get into the progress picks really fast. Literally not a lot has changed. So we're going from, what is this, December 8th? So we haven't made a video since then. Jesus Christ. Okay, so before this there was level 121. I did not have this level documented. I think I got it on mobile, so that's pretty much it. As you could tell, I've been AFK used at Edgeville a lot. I've even seen a guy from like, oh, sorry about the, I've moved him to a core part of the town where you could just hear all this shit. Yeah, no, I pretty much, you know, just been AFKing use. Even like one of the clannies that started AFKing use. Shout out to AntPZ. I don't know how to say your name, but you might be watching this video. 123 woodcutting, so yeah, nothing to report there. We passed the 150 mil mark here at 124, and that's April 26th, and then that's pretty much it, y'all. That's the progress. So when you're AFKing and when you're just working on one skill, that's kind of what it looks like. So kind of another reason why I didn't, you know, record any videos was just like, God, do I feel, you know, comfortable just sharing stuff like in this, you know, in these small, like, you know, I like the collection log and the, you know, skilling progress, like albums to be like really large when I kind of post them on YouTube. But anyways, there you go. So that's pretty much all I had for like free to play and stuff. I'll talk a little bit like why I've been like, you know, dying down, you know, the play on the free to play account more. It's also, it kind of has to do with like kind of my main account and like the approach I have now with playing the main account. So you guys will know from like 3 years ago, I published a ramble. Some of you guys will know, saying like, you know, it was something titled, it was pretty dramatic. It was like, I'm done with endgame PVM forever. And I kind of expressed myself there, and I was mainly saying how, you know, my favorite contents in the game, which were raids and like elite clues and hard clues, were, you know, just simply like not frequent enough that I can enjoy in the long run. You know, for example, like elite clues, I'd be lucky if I got like one elite clue a day, you know, Because, let's say, the average elite clue, if you're not doing the most efficient thing, if you look at just every source of elite clues, it's like maybe 1.5 hours to 2 hours per elite. Bro, if you go 2.5 times dry, that's 5 hours of not getting a clue, which could be like a day of playtime for me, And hard clues have changed. Hard clues have gotten pretty good. I mean, the Venator bow cannon method, I love Wildy Slayer. That's part of the reason. Like, when I get that task, that's dopamine boost. We get clues for days. We'll probably have like 40 hard clues, 50 hard clues by the end of the week. And I really like that. That's a lot for me, given my play style, given my lifestyle and everything. So, yeah, that ramble kind of talked about like how I pretty much just, lacked any motivation to play on the main and pursue like really long end game goals, like 1,000 collection log, 1,000 million XP goal, 1 bill that is. And at that time too, I did have a more like, I think like an elite approach to the game. Like I said, I always consider myself like a HLC community person. Like I appreciate a good speed run. I appreciate some solid skilling content. I like doing stuff. I like optimizing my game and whatever. But I never just like played it to like I never went full sand on anything. Like I'd have a thing or two I liked, and my view has changed. Now I kind of do want to play on the main again, but I want to play in a more like reclined setting where like, sure, I'll have some goals, but like if I get bored, I'll switch them around, and like I won't slave myself for the sake of like achieving a goal and flexing and like trying to have the most like stacked account ever. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've just been doing what I like, and I don't care whether I green log it or not. I don't care whether like I get my master CAs that I wanted or I don't. So what that's meant for me is just like I've been enjoying the main more because I've had a more, just different approach, refined approach to it. And it's still true to like the original Ramble when I said I'm like done with like, kind of end game PVM for good or like pursuing like super late game goals for good. That's still true. Like I'm not going for like some crazy shit, because like, I don't know. I just don't have the motivation to pursue it. But I'll just do what I feel like. And in this case, it's been like Wilderness Slayer and hard clues, and honestly, like it's been chill. When I get bored of that, who knows? I might log in, I might not. I don't feel like I have to log in every day anymore, And yeah, like I'll just go for something because I feel it's cool. Like I want to get the Saul pet eventually. If I, that's a 1 in 200 pet. If I get bored before 200 Coliseum completions, so be it. I might find something else to do. I might not. But clues and raids have always been my main thing. If there's some buddies I want to raid, I'll always just raid with my buddies. And that's pretty much about it. So I've been enjoying the main in that regard. And the free-to-play has obviously like just been, played less because of that. Recently as well, because Yama came out. That's really when my hours dropped off. Was like I had a buddy who wanted to duo with me. And I was like, sure, I'll do a duo. It'd be cool if like I had a great, day. It'd be cool if I had a field day at Yama. I made like 2 bill in a week. That didn't happen sadly because a couple of deaths happened here and there, and the values diminished tremendously. Not to mention like 3 weeks of updates and fake tweaks and shit. Made just everything fluctuate so hard, and not to mention like my collection log like. I have 2 uniques, and they're like the cheapest of the rewards, like substantially. I had the 2 horns. So, anyways, yeah, like Yama got my free to play hours down, but yeah, I originally set a goal to like have 200 mil by August, and that would be if I did like 10 mil weeks or some shit, 5 mil weeks. I'm not even sure, but I think it was supposed to be just 60 mil in 8 months. Something like that. I think that was the goal. I think I went into the new year with around 150 mil XP. So, yeah, at this point, I don't know. I'm not going to set a strict goal. It'd be cool if I got it before 2026. Who knows what might happen. If I do something chill on the main, like an AFK grind I enjoy, if I do feel like playing the main, then I'll probably be more motivated to, let's say, like, click some willow trees or do some more 2-tick hoax. But yeah, I'm really just back at willows as well because like it's been so long since forestry update. I just want to know like how things are progressing here. Like, is it still chaotic with the trees? It seems like there's a lot less people and they only focus 2 trees now. So who knows? It might be chill here. It's actually like, yeah, it used to be a lot more chaotic, and like the despawns used to be really sporadic and shit. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and no really like desired urge to like ramble or document shit for anything. I gave up on like RuneScape Twitter as well, like years ago. I'm part of like, you know, I'm part of the completionist clan at Totus as well that I recently joined on my main, and like I just don't engage in Discord communities. I don't care about my like posting my achievements. I don't care. Like, I'm just there to chat, have a good time, and yeah. I mean, as far as free to play goes, whenever you say something in the free to play chat, I'm muted now. But if I were to say something like fucking, it take like 8 days, maybe even more for someone to reply. So that's been nice. I just like to talk to people in the game. I realize oh man, people are so different. People are so sensitive and stuff. So getting older now. I mean, I'm only 27, but almost 28. Like, I've just learned to just chill. Stick with the people that I enjoy, that are chill and whatnot, and like not really care too much on like maintaining like these like internet social relationships. So there you go. I'm rambling all over the place at this point. I've lost like my idea of that like script I had, that like those few thoughts that I wanted to like talk about before I started freeballing. But there you go. I didn't know how to wrap that up. That's gonna be it for that though. I do want to mention a thing on Project Xanaris. I haven't been keeping up with this too much, but since like what is it, the summer summit of last year, there was that was obviously announced, or maybe it was the winter summit of last year. I can't recall. And Project Xanaris has halted indefinitely. I don't know, kind of a damn shame, kind of not really. I was really worried with how it was gonna go. I think it was cool, but I looked at it myself. I'm like, what do I want from Project Xanaris? Because I was gonna vote yes to that shit if that was even votable. I can't even remember. And I really wanted Project Xanaris, but yeah, I was just worried about a lot of things. My main thing with Project Xanaris was like the infrastructure. Like, what's the point of playing on these servers? Again, it goes to like the flex kind of aspect, but like, what's the point of playing on these servers like if there's no high scores, or like if there's like an admin team that could just like boot you for no reason, like backstab you, and like destroy all your progress, or like what's the point in Project Xanaris if we can't delete updates from the game? Like, like it'd be cool if we can, like, let's say, I don't know, delete Soul Wars, for example. Like, just get rid of the portal, mark the land that is Soul Wars as like a piece of ocean instead, stuff like that. And I had all these questions, and I don't think Jagex was able to pull it off. I read some of those blogs, and they were offering some cool like stuff in the PvP scene. Like, I could definitely see like a really good like PvP server being a thing, which would basically be like a private server in a way. That's also like really prestigious. I could see that, and I could also see some like skilling clans that are really popular, or let's say like Temple OSRS community, like making like a a skilling server of some kind that's really competitive. But like I said, what's the point if you can't track these things with high scores? They're not going to make like hundreds of pages of high scores for hundreds of servers, right? It's going to have to be like third party or whatever. But what I really wanted from Project Xanaris is a 2007scape server. And you know what? At this point, I don't even want Project Xanaris. I just want a 2007scape server, namely one that I could play on a separate profile, and one that is basically like using the current engine of the game, if that is possible. I know that like a lot of bugs have been patched and things might be different, but I think like if we're looking for new permanent game modes, I just think 2007scape is a great idea for a permanent game mode. No Iron Man, just main accounts and 2007scape. Let's say until God Wars was released. So you got content like Heart Clues, you got God Wars, DKs, whatever, and it'd mainly be like a skilling server and like a Clue Scrolls server. And I gotta be honest with you, like, I love free to play for like how it maintains the original like version of the game so much. Like it's preserved it. It's like a relic. It's like I fucking took a time machine and shit. And I would love for a 2007scape server game mode to be the same thing, just the whole game, the whole pay to play game. So, I think people would play it. I don't think it'd be the most active thing. I think like, maybe 200 players per server, let's say like 5 servers. Like I'd say 1,000 people would play it worldwide. But who knows, maybe even more people. Like I think maybe if there was like a way to, let's say, transition into the main game, people would pretty much play the 2000scape server. And this is another thought that just occurred to me, but like I realized that like having the current game engine and then going back to 2007scape is going to be very complicated. Like I just thought about this, but like maybe if like I don't know how the content is released nowadays in the game, but if it's kind of like a plug-in kind of thing, and if updates can be easily removed, if there's that kind of structure with the game currently, like the game build, that could make it easy for 2007scape to exist. Like if all the rules can be obeyed by the engine, even though some content isn't available, that might be pretty cool. So, and especially with sailing around the corner, I'm not a sailing doomist. But the game is going to change forever. This is the biggest update of all time. It's going to be like, not make or break, but it's going to be make or break for some like dedicated, really passionate players that really enjoy the game currently. Like the game is not going to die, but the fucking player base might change forever. And like, sailing is just, it's never going to feel the way RuneScape currently feels. It is never going to feel like that again. You're going to see boats everywhere. You're going to see hundreds of new items. You're going to see hundreds of new like skilling items in all 23 skills. Like, it's going to be crazy. So 2007scape has like more of a case than ever. And I would be super glad if Jag explained it, because, it's going to be official, and, the high scores are going to be there. And, man, like, wouldn't you guys want to do like, double nats, Abyss rune crafting, EHP 28k an hour? Like that shit is the bomb, compared to like mini gamescape and forestry, fuck forestry. Like there's so many cool things that 2007scape would make so refreshing. And it's like a snowflake account in that regard. If you play like you can play your main account and then you can play your snowflake account and stuff like that. So yep, that's about it for 2007scape. I'm going to keep going here. We're 23 minutes in. Just more thoughts on like, just recent RuneScape events and whatnot and updates. I want to talk about DMM All-Stars and just the DMM game mode. I have personally had a blast watching DMM All-Stars. That's the most like glued I've ever been to like watching like live video gaming content since maybe like the TF2 esports like LAN tournaments from like 2015, because like I used to be a part of competitive TF2, not in any like crazy regard, like semi-professionally, but like fuck, I used to watch the shit out of those tournaments and stuff. And I used to be a teenager back then. I think fucking 2016, shit, that was 10 years ago. Yeah, for sure I was. And man, like DMM All Stars has done that shit for me. And like even Twitch in general, I don't even watch Twitch anymore. I fucking listen to podcasts, and like I watch my main shit on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So I've been on Twitch, following the Skill Specs team and following the Bodhi team, and like the breaches have been some of the most crazy content, because you got this breach that like pretty much like acts as this like neutral objective. So not only is the point of the game to kill each other, but you also have this thing in the middle that you can benefit from, and it draws all these players together. It's insane. It's actually genius, these breaches. And they've clearly stuck with it for the second season, so that's amazing. Like, I've just had so much fun. Like, the comms have been so crazy. The drama has been crazy. The memes that have come from it has been crazy. Even the finals, I won't spoil the finals for anyone who wants to watch the VOD, but, like, there's been some KOs in the finals that have been, like, really surprising. So, anyways, like, fucking 10 out of a 10 event. It reminds me of like the Speedrun Cup, which was really cool, but I just enjoy like, DMM All-Stars a lot more. I enjoy DMM mode. I appreciate PKing, and like, having some like streamers that are there who like exert main character energy was just so hyped. Like also to like mention the draft. The draft was so hyped. I tuned in for the draft, like the way like the captains were like picking their teammates, and they were like, Ditter better come on board, my guy. Like they were all just like hyped up. Each time they made a pick, they had like a whole fucking like thing to say about it. It was so sick. Like big fan, very enthusiastic. Like I look forward to DMM All Stars Season 3. That was some fucking good ass shit. Watching streams all day. I even had like at work, I would have like that shit set to audio only mode. I gotta save my data. But like instead of like listening to a podcast at work, I was just listening to the boys, seeing like, bro, did they get a Morgan's jab, or like did they get a triple chest at Barrows? Like I wanted to know. So that was really fun. I don't know if anyone had the same like experience with that, but yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments. And then DMM in general, like the public version of DMM, I've been more interested than ever to try. Like I was always on the fence. I was always like this close to like wanting to play DMM. Like the only thing that like held me back was like, shit, this progress isn't like permanent. Kind of the same shit that held me back with leagues. The progress isn't permanent, and like I don't know. I can't plan a strategy, and I can't I don't know. I couldn't enjoy it, but nowadays, like with my completely shifted like type of gameplay style and stuff, like now not caring about the main too much, and kind of just wanting to have fun, and like also after watching DMM All Stars and everything, I feel more inclined than ever to play, and there was another point I had about wanting to play, but yeah, I can't remember, but. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things I look forward to this season. Should I play? Like, I look forward to having like a little alternate account and just swapping the Stronghold of Security gold, for some like crazy ratio. Like 10k GP to like I don't know, like 100. I don't know, 10 mil, 100 mil. We'll see how much it is. But yeah, this was my thought. Having done Wilderness Slayer recently on the main, I can't tell you how much a thrill I've had just like escaping PKers. Like the only times I've like really gotten mad about dying has been like when I die in multi, because there's like dead ass nothing I can do. Like I've survived maybe like once, and I'm like, okay, cool, that was fun, but really like I've actually survived pretty often at what is it called, the Elder Chaos Druids, because like that place is just a clusterfuck and it's really confusing. But if I'm like doing a rogues task at like the 50 ports, bro, there is no shot I'm getting back home, and like that just fucking like I just kind of like throw in the towel there, and that's been really upsetting. That like that'll be a log off. I'm not like verbally upset. I'm just like, well, that killed my mood to play, because what can I do in multi? But these like single Wilderness Slayer tasks, like when I'd encounter a PKer, bro, it'd be a fair match. Like sometimes I get out with 1 food, sometimes I get out with 10 food, sometimes I get a gap. Sometimes I almost like anti PK the person. Like I enjoy revs, how I had to always be on my toes and like whatnot, and like the Revenant tasks like reminded me of like DMM in that way. It's like you're just killing an ordinary monster, but like any moment anything can happen, and like that's what DMM gives you. And I used to be a PKer like back when I was a kid, so I couldn't even say that like that counts. But I've always like understood PKing, and like I've liked it. I've probably watched PK streams a lot because they're just like chill and exciting. And I remember PKing myself, and like when the first version of Bounty Hunter came out, I used to have like Zerker builds and like one defense builds, and that was so fun. That's like you cross the ditch, and like once the fight starts, it's like 2 minutes of action that's like so addicting. As soon as you tell, you're like, fuck, I'm gonna get that guy next time, or like I'm looking for another fight. I'm not logging off till I get a kill. So DMM, I think it could be hype. And as a single player, I think it could be hype. I'm going to make a strategy probably where I play in singles areas, unless I have to do some like very unique one-off shit like quests and whatever. But yeah, I'm super stoked to try this season, and I really hope I urge myself to do it. Like I'm more inclined than ever. I can't say I'm saying yes, but like god damn, I'm this close. And I'm gonna do my research. Should I say yes? I'm gonna make that decision like earlier in advance. I think Dead Man Mode is like this winter. I'm gonna just make sure I have a plan and that I have fun. PK, let's say, not risk too much, just have a blast and experience that shit. Cause yeah, like I said, no longer do I play like a main that seriously, or even this free-to-play account. Like, I always like RuneScape. I'll never play any other game, to be honest. Like, I don't know what would happen if RuneScape would, like, go down. Like, fuck, I might just, like... I wouldn't play, honestly. I'd maybe watch TV instead of play another video game, because, like, I really don't like modern games. I know there's some really talented games out there, like, especially, like, indie games, but I just compare everything to RuneScape, so this is really it for me. And, and I guess because of that, that's why I've been, like, just so, like, open to trying shit out and stuff. So, yeah, anyways, that's pretty much the ramble in a nutshell there, folks. So, DMM, 2007scape / Project Xanaris thoughts. What else can I recap? My free-to-play progress, pretty much, and, some of my responses to last video. So, there you go, guys. Yeah, it was fun to record this. Like I said, I just had the urge to record this. Now I'm going to upload it, and it's going to be, 7 megabits per second on a 30-plus minute audio. It's going to take a day, boys, but who cares? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Like the video, or honestly don't like the video. You don't have to do anything. I just do this as a hobby. I'm not going to lie. I just fucking record with the most, like, primitive and basic, format. So... one take, pretty much. So that's about it. It's 30 degrees here. I'm going to go for a nice walk in the area. We got some beautiful, area here in the city. I moved to, like, actually a suburb away from, like, the main part of the metropolitan area that I'm from. And it's kind of, like, more exposed to, like, wilderness and nature. And I'm just going to go for a nice walk. Fuck it. So, yeah. Not sure when I'll upload next video. Really don't bank on it. Like, I hope I'm one of those, like, channels to people where, like, if I upload a video, cool, they'll watch it, but people aren't left, like, like, upset or disgruntled that, like, I don't upload that often. Like you boys, we gotta make this straight. This is, like, rare uploads, random uploads per year, but if they're there, I hope you guys enjoy them. But yeah, don't expect anything like consistent from me. I know I've said in the past, like, I plan on making a video soon and whatnot, but I've pretty much failed that promise each time. So, yeah, anyways, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying the game a lot, just making a lot of gains in general, and good luck on all your gains as well. And, yeah, wishing you a blessed rest of your day. All right, peace out.